Hello, dear viewer or viewers. I wanted to do another round of dream entry ASMR videos again. I apologize for the late entries, as I've been very busy in my life lately with work and other daily activities, such as errands and whatnot. My life has been pretty busy lately, especially around the holidays. It seems like our lives just we get caught up in like family gatherings and like getting stuff done for like Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we don't stop and realize that time seems to accelerate around this time of year. And it's like, things just kind of, it's like we go from like Halloween to like New Year's, and like, I don't know, like less than like a few days, it seems. But anyways, I just wanted to come back and do some more of these. I took a break because I wanted to focus on, ASMR videos, like traditional style ASMR videos. Plus, those videos seem to get more views than these. But I do kind of want to make more of these. That's an interesting idea, and yeah. So this next round of Dream Entry ASMR videos is from users on Reddit. And if you would like to get yours featured on this channel, then just head over to r/patches _dream and then _entries. And I will probably provide the link too, in case anybody wants to get on there and share their dream stories. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get on to the first entry here. So this one was written by Sensing Light on Reddit. An alien encounter dream I had. I wanted to share a dream that I had on New Year's Eve this year. It started out with me talking to two of my guy friends. I don't remember their names, but they had told me about how they shared the exact coordinates of Earth with an unknown alien species to facilitate contact. In the dream, I was pissed. How could you do that? You don't know where they are from, what they will do, how they will act, etc. I lived on a big house that resembled an oil rig with a daughter as well. Interestingly enough, the aliens began to come. With that, though, I started encountering a strange phenomenon. My psychic abilities began to increase. I could see things in other places that I had never been. And I started to create some sort of power with it. My daughter as well began to start manifesting powers. I felt as if it was my duty to take down these aliens. I was able to conjure up some psychic beast, or psychic blast of energy, and remote view, basically. One day, the alien ship began to descend from the sky, and I could see in the ship 6 beings who all looked similar to regular humans, but their skin was all colored differently. There was a pure white, a pure black, a red, green, and a blue and orange one. For me, I found it interesting to note that it contained similar colors to the Palestinian and Israeli flags. My daughter's power was that she could create fear in people using her psychic energy. As we battled them, we used our respective powers, but to no avail. They also ended up destroying my home. So after, I started meeting people with similar phenomenons, noticing the aliens. My daughter had a best friend who had claimed she was brought here by the aliens and related to them. It was like interesting. Something to note is when I would meet someone who knew of the aliens, we all decided to wear orange, subconsciously. We were also all starting to prepare for it. Also, in my dream, I had been journaling and encountering people who had also been journaling. We were all called to write stories and had been writing almost identical ones at that. Eventually, a whole crowd of people came together. We were all lined up when the ship finally came down. There were families, nurses. Hell, even a man escaped from jail came. Also, the closer the ship got, the weaker my psychic abilities became. We were all in this neighborhood, and the ship had descended right above us, and this pod dropped down. And in it was a fabulous party. There were humans in there, drag queens and the like, all celebrating. I was freaked out. A staircase dropped down, and in the excitement, everyone quickly went inside. It felt like I shouldn't, but it felt like I became compelled to go with them. I didn't want to partake in any of the food or drinks, but was eventually kind of force-fed a drink and ended up passing out. I woke up, and there were people around, talking, and I was like, oh my god, no, like, where are they? Because basically, there were no aliens in the ship, and I didn't really know what was going on, you know. Anyways, one of my main premises in the dream was that I really wanted to engage with these aliens. I wanted to see them, I wanted to face it, sort of head on. So I started to walk through the ship and kept getting pushed every which way. White hollow walls began to manifest all around me as I walked until I was eventually teleported back to the original room. This is when I finally encountered one. She wasn't any that I had remote viewed in the beginning of the dream, though. She was entirely light purple pink and had a long pig-like nose. I remember just being kind of flabbergasted and like, just wow, that's it, that's the alien. Question mark. Then she released this insane scream. It was unlike anything I'd ever heard before. It was so intense that I passed out and again woke up on the ship, but this time in a bed. After that, I somehow was easily able to get off the ship. I felt honestly so powerless. I concluded that the psychic phenomenon that I and my family had experienced in the dream was a direct result of the aliens themselves. That the very reality I believed I had power in was completely in control and malleable thanks to their advanced technology. I was like, okay, that's it. And it was this sense of like, wow, they really had no ill intentions, I suppose. Or at least it felt that way. I'd sensed within myself an indignation of this encounter has nothing crazy except for, hello, they're mimicking human hedonism as a sort of a connection and calling card to interact. To let us know that they were completely involved. The strangest part of the dream was this. There were people who were asked to stay with the aliens on the ship. People separated from their families to stay on this ship, my daughter included. I ended up leaving with these 4 groups I had met along the way. The ship disappeared, and we just, stayed on Earth, and we're in this rural neighborhood. And that was what it was. And then they give a TLDR, basically a summary. Friends give out Earth coordinates to alien species. It causes a surge of psychic phenomenon. I go to the ship and find out the aliens control 3D reality with their technology. Whack. But that was really cool. I went ahead and I upvoted that because I liked that story. It was a really cool, in-depth dream about alien abduction and crazy alien beings that you meet. And I've had these before, especially lately. It's like the older I get, the more I start having uh, these complex dreams, and sometimes they'll get so complex that it'll be like reality breaking, almost like kind of like this, where you meet like an interdimensional alien species or something that's like beyond your comprehension. Um, and sometimes I'll have the dreams where they won't speak in English, obviously, because in English, if you think about it, aliens, if we ever meet aliens, they're not going to be anything like us. Um, they might have certain attributes and certain things that might be similar to us, uh, whether it be they're bipedal or whether they have like certain attributes like a nose that looks kind of similar to ours. They're still not going to be anything that we can. So the thing is, if beings from another planet come to our planet and visit us, I try to be optimistic about this, but if they come in like groups, they're not going to come with good intentions. Um, I would like to think that they would be nice and they would come and they'd share all their knowledge and they would, you know, we'd have a big party together, and but that's not exactly how things are going to go. Especially if it's a species that is very competitive, like us. We're human beings. We are a very competitive species, and we will take whatever we can get. And if we come across another species that is like that, they're going to wipe us off the face of the earth, or they might enslave everybody. But anyways, I thought it was an interesting dream. Just the fact that uh, he was talking about he had a daughter in this dream, about how they have these psychic abilities and how they can see the aliens or the beings, and they can, uh, they can somehow find them with these abilities. Uh, and then they end up on like this big alien ship, and with a big group of people that have the same abilities, and he finally meets one of these beings, and I guess they have like a pig nose and stuff like that. It's interesting because uh, what we perceive as an extraterrestrial being, we could think of all kinds of things. Like our imaginations could go wild about these things. Like lizard people, reptile beings that come from another world, or whether they be, like this guy or this person in their dreams that they had like a pig nose and stuff. Like maybe there are certain things like that you could conjure up. And the reality is that we won't know exactly what another species or extraterrestrial beings will look like until they get here, or until we see them. And that also leads me to the idea that if they come here, they're probably going to be wearing suits, so we won't see their faces, because our atmosphere will probably not be they probably won't be able to handle our atmosphere. You got to think, these are beings from another world. These are beings that they came from a whole different world with a whole different set of chemicals in their atmosphere and a whole different set of slew of different things going on their world that they've adapted through thousands of years, maybe millions of years, depending on how long their race has been around. And you got to think that these beings they're not going to be equipped to handle our atmosphere. And they might have like some special suits that they can wear they can breathe their air, their chemical makeup of their air on their planet, and that they'll only be able to. And the interesting thing is language. That's another very interesting fact about extraterrestrials is language. They're going to have a totally different language, one that no human has ever heard, and they probably would, maybe depending on their physical makeup, maybe they have like different voice boxes. You have to think about that. Like, they're not going to have human voice boxes. My ears get ready to kick on. It's going to get a little noisy, but you got to think their voice boxes are going to be different. They might communicate in like a series of clicks or something, or like some kind of like noise that they can make with their very different vocal cord makeup, and it's going to be very different from what humans are used to hearing. I don't know. I've rambled on long, and I don't know. This whole thing about aliens like fascinates me. Like, I love the idea that our universe is so vast and is so huge that it's likely that there are aliens out there. Like, I'm not negating that there are no aliens around. Like, I just don't believe in the whole, like, they're here, they've been here for hundreds of years, and that I just don't believe that. Like, I feel like if they are here, they would have made their presence known by now, and that they would have, I just don't think they're here. But I do know that, I do have a very strong feeling that they are out there somewhere beyond the stars. Who knows? Maybe there's a race out there that's kind of similar to us. Maybe they're behind a few thousand years, and maybe they're still in their tribal era, kind of like off of Avatar. Maybe they're a few hundred, maybe a few thousand light years away from us, in another planet somewhere. It's just fascinating to think about extraterrestrial beings and how different they would be from us, about how different their world would be. Believe me, if I could travel to some place like that, I would, in a heartbeat. I would love to go visit an alien world. I'm sure 99% of people can agree with this. Anyways, I hope you found this story interesting. I've rambled on long enough about aliens. And, yeah, let me know what you thought about this one. I'll be back again with another one. Thank you for listening or watching. Hello, dear viewer or viewers. Welcome back again with another Dream Entry ASMR. So this is a second story I found on Reddit by Sane Gazelle 1846. A white dog bit my hand. I found a soulmate and acquired the powers of Goddess Kali. Or Kali. The dream fluctuated between worlds. At one point, I was in the living room of my old home when a white dog sauntered over to me and bit my left hand. He wouldn't let go, and I was considering hitting him with a plate. But it wasn't hurting. I tried to shoo him off. Then I was transported to the world of a cult. I was in danger. They were holding my family captive, and it seemed to be a scenario where we were stranded guests at their stronghold. I found a person who came out of nowhere, and together we invoked Goddess Kali. It cost him his youth, but it was restored as we cycled our energies back and forth in the end. I had the power to shatter matter with a single tap or breath. Do you guys have dreams like this where you have magic, or the distinct sense that you are in a world with different laws of physics? So, this dream's interesting because, you know how in dreams the wackiest things can happen. And about how I guess a white dog had come up and like bit her, and like, but she didn't feel it. So that's one of the examples of, you know, like a creature could come up to you and like, you know, like bite you or something. It's one of the most random things ever. And being teleported to a world of a cult, which is interesting. And I guess they held their family captive. Yeah, it's an interesting dream. And the whole, like, thing about, I guess she'd met this friend who had lost his youth after they had invoked the goddess of Kali. But she was able to bring him back to his youth by just recycling their energies and stuff. And in doing so, I guess they became gods or something. Which is fascinating because I feel like I and a lot of other people have had dreams where you become godlike. Or like you do something in the dream that makes you godlike or makes you like very overpowering. And these dreams are weird because usually in a dream, especially when I was younger, when I was a kid, I didn't have any control. I felt very hopeless. And I remember when I was younger, a lot of my dreams were kind of dark anyways. They had like a dark undertone, and I felt like creatures were after me, or like people were after me all the time. And I always had like nightmarish kind of dreams when I was younger. But what's weird is, as I got older and more matured, I started, it's weird because it's like a saga almost. The saga of my dreams. And it's like I'm the underdog in these dreams, and eventually I get more and more powerful throughout each dream. And like there's like a point in time in my life where I started dreaming of these dreams where I would do something in a dream that would cause me to gain great amounts of power. And eventually, like in later dreams, there was like a point to where I became so powerful in a dream that I just controlled the entire dream. And I think that's kind of where lucidity comes in, where you lucid dreaming. And like a lucid dream is a dream that you can basically control. Like it's a dream. The term is very loose, but basically it's a very real-like dream, and you can control parts of the dream or certain aspects of the dream. Is basically kind of what lucid dreaming is. And I realized that once I started to master this art of lucid dreaming, I became godlike in a way. Not like, you know, I destroy the world or something like that, but like in a way that if I had like enemies or something, that I could just evaporate them into nothing and they would be gone. Or control like a certain situation to where I could beat the enemy effortlessly. And the dreams didn't become nightmares anymore. They became more of a play or something like that, or like like a video game in a ways. But anyways, that's the interesting thing about dreams. But that was a good one. That another good entry here. But I'm going to end it here. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, dear viewer or viewers. Welcome back to another Dream Entry ASMR. Okay, this one kind of struck me, and I wanted to read this one by myself before sharing it here, because it almost pulled at my heartstrings a bit. But this one is written by Bubina94. Dead dad pulls me out of a dream. This is something that has never happened before. I've always been a vivid dreamer, had recurring dreams, and even night terrors. But this was unlike anything I've ever experienced. For background, my dad was very sick and passed away due to getting a pneumonia-like virus. Doctor's words, not mine. On top of his terminal illness in November of 2019. Been experiencing postpartum depression after having my daughter a few weeks ago, causing me to not want to get up. Today, I woke up on and off between 5:40 a.m. and 2 p.m. During that time, I had a few dreams, but the last one had me waking up in tears and hyperventilating. Starts out very random, forgive my weirdo thoughts. I was a student at Hogwarts, and I'm looking for the Hufflepuff common room, and a fellow student asked for my help with her hair. I say, sure, let me get some stuff, and turn away to get some things, and as I walk past a room with door open, I see my dad. Not in Harry Potter type clothes, but a blue sweater, jeans, and his very dad-like New Balances he always wore. Even though I'm in this Harry Potter universe, he isn't. But at the same time, he's there. He calls out my name and says, "Hey, baby girl." And it's like I snapped out of my dream completely and into a strange place of not awake and not asleep. All of a sudden, I realized that I was asleep, but I knew I had control and could do what I wanted. I guess like a lucid dream. But I had no control over my dad. Just me. He asked how I was, and I broke down. I told him I was married and had 4 kids. I just told him what my life was like and what he missed. He was so happy and smiley the entire time. He wanted to be a grandpa so bad. He told me how proud he was of me, how much he loves me and my kids. He told me he just recently talked to my mom and how much he missed her. Then he needed to go. He told me to have a good day, and bam, I wake up. It's over. Yeah, that one, that one's rough to read. Yeah, I can relate to this. I mean, not like directly, because thankfully both my parents are still alive. But like, just I've had a dream like this where one of my parents have died. Um, it scared it scared the shit out of me because I thought it was real. Like, it was a very lifelike dream. It was a lucid dream, but it was too real. Like, it was almost like just like a normal day, and like, you know, we're out. I'm out with my sisters, and I get a call, and it's I don't like to go into depth with it because it's too real, and it's too much to like talk about. But yeah, it's a very good dream. I'm sorry to hear about your loss. I really am. At least he's not suffering anymore. Our Uncle Tim passed away in 2022. And it's weird because a lot of what your dad, the person who wrote this, their dad, it's very similar to how our Uncle Tim passed away. And I know he wasn't my dad, but he's still family, you know. And they would come over every Christmas and Thanksgiving, and he'd always be there. And then one Christmas, he's not, you know. And he's very similar way he passed away was he ended up with COVID, I guess, but he ended up having pneumonia in the hospital. And he ended up passing away in the hospital. And it was very devastating. It's very devastating to have a loved one pass away. Anyways, on a lighter note, like, it's interesting that you had like the Harry Potter, like the Hogwarts thing, and your dad's just there, like in his regular clothes, just saying hi. But that's the thing, though, is I think, and I've had these dreams too, where somebody will, like, my papa came back in a recent dream of mine, and he said we had like a conversation, very in-depth conversation. He was just kind of asking me about my life, and just congratulating me on all that I've done. And it felt very real. And I kind of wonder if loved ones, when they pass away, if they come back in dreams. Come back in our dreams, and especially when they pass so suddenly, it's like they'll come back in like a dream just to say their final thoughts and everything. I just think it's a sweet gesture, and I want to believe that they're still out there somewhere. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this one. Just very, very deep. One of those deep dreams. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Hello, dear viewer or viewers. Welcome back to another Dream Entry ASMR. I found this one interesting. I was just scrolling on Reddit a bit ago, and I found this one that really intrigued me, because I've had these two lately where I'll dream up some kind of technology or some kind of way that a computer or something will work differently and will do things that are way more advanced than we might not see in another like 20 to 30 years from now. But this one was interesting. This one's written by Erical. I had a dream where AI could turn my iPhone's voice memos into video files. This happened a few weeks ago, but it just goes to show the power of AI even in our dreams. In my dream, apparently Apple had updated my iPhone's software to such an advanced setting that it could make videos out of my recorded voice memos. Back in early October, I learned that the app could transcribe text notes out of my voice memos, which was really cool. Based on the recorded sounds, the software could use AI to guess what words were likely being spoken, so you could read the text instead of having to listen to it. I guess my brain took it one step further. My dream had my iPhone able to use AI to guess, based on the contents of the words, a real-life 3D video matching the audio. It's as if you were using the camera to record a video the whole time. And this was constructed only from the voice memos. We've seen what AI can do on YouTube, so I can easily believe that such technology is technically possible. But are we still a few years away from it becoming a reality, or does it already exist and I just don't know it? That's the thing, though, about dreams like that. I don't know if I ever written this dream down, but I had one dream, and I remember talking to a friend or somebody, and it was a dream because I was going to school at the time for programming and like coding and stuff. I was doing a lot of work, a lot of schoolwork on like programming and stuff, and like half my day would be taken up doing that, and so that I would have dreams a lot about that. And I remember I had one dream where I dreamed of this monitor that I was working on, and it was like pink, it was like a pink background, and like I was coding, I was like writing code, but as I wrote code, I was controlling our reality. It was like as I was writing the code to our reality, it was like I could make changes, and it's like the colors of like cars, or like the styles of cars, or like change like different creatures in the world and stuff, or like change the time of day. And I just find it fascinating because that's one I haven't written down, but that's one that I'd had recently. That kind of has like technology involved in it. But that's the thing about dreams, though. Sometimes I'll have these dreams where like I think of a technology or something that hasn't been invented yet, and it's like something that changes the entire world. It's like something that almost out of like a sci-fi movie or something. But yeah, I like this one just because it was just interesting, and I hope you enjoyed this one too, and I'll see you in the next video. Dear viewer or viewers, I wanted to go ahead and redo a couple videos. So I had one that's about the World War III Disney thing, and I realized when I had it uploaded on YouTube, it didn't upload the full video. The full video was like almost 8 minutes, almost 7-8 minutes long. Uh, I don't know why, but I feel like it may have gotten corrupted or something along the way in the processing or something like that. I don't know what happened. Anyways, going to go ahead and redo that one, and then there's another one I have here that I'll go ahead and I'll redo as well. I'll just start from scratch. So this one is Vivid World War III Dream, Unrealistic, written by FL Studio 420. So I was chilling with a few friends when there was a bunch of alarms going off. People were running around screaming, and Twitter said that Russia was about to launch a nuke towards America. So we all were like, hell nah, and we started to dip. We decided to escape to MF Disney World, of all places, because why not LMAO? It was abandoned. I've never been there in real life, but in the dream, in the middle, there was the huge Disney castle, and we run inside. There was a bunker in this castle, but it wasn't like a small shelter. This was a huge industrial-sized bunker with so many stories, so we decided to explore. We ended up finding some files and classified documents, which was basically America's plans for stuff like brainwashing, fear-mongering, the classic conspiracy theories. We ended up going deeper, so we decided to travel to the very bottom floor by an elevator. We had guns, by the way, but when we got to the bottom floor, there was a whole bunch of people down there. It looked like they had been down there for years, but we were scared, so we had our guns drawn. They were just excited to see other humans, and explained how they had traveled down there in the 1970s to do research, but got trapped down there. How did they survive for over 50 years? I had no idea. We basically told them that they were fine, and we were gonna help them escape to the surface while a war is going on, I guess. I don't know. They didn't believe that we were gonna save them. They seemed so hopeless and basically accepted their fate. It bummed me out, but I woke up. If anyone was asking why they didn't take the elevator back up, I have no idea. I realized why this one was so funny. So, yeah. There's the full version. So... yeah, my summary. Post-apocalyptic dream. And they escaped to Disney World, and then there's like a hidden bunker under Disney World. And then they found a bunch of experiments, and then they found this group of people down there. And the group of people didn't know how to escape. Which the funny thing about that was why they weren't able to take the elevator back up, which I thought was kind of funny. Like, yeah, with extreme logic, you know. So, yeah, there's the full dream entry. So I thought it was pretty good. So yeah, just give a like if you like the video, or a comment if you've had any dreams similar with this one, or if you've had a dream recently that you'd like to share. Also go to the subreddit. You can also post there patches _dreams _entries. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you for listening. Hello, dear reviewers. I decided to lay down because my feet fell asleep. So now we're having a bed podcast. That's actually a good idea. Welcome to Dream Entry ASMR. We're back again for another bedtime podcast. That sounds like a good idea, actually. Okay, so this one was written by Disastrous Work 2817. Weird dream. Don't we all have weird dreams? I was walking in a desertic mount, and there was some old houses. I wanted to hear one of the houses, or enter one of the houses. Sorry about that. Suddenly, an old man appears in the entrance of the house and started to chase me with a stick and shouting for no reason. I'm sorry. He was shouting something about her daughter and another thing that I don't remember. The old guy was fast, and when he was about to reach me, 3 guys appeared and grabbed the old man to calm him because he was very, 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 very angry. And a few seconds later, the old man was calm, and we started to go down the hill singing songs. And for some reason, we were very happy. A moment later, we reached a desert plain connected to a big ocean that was full of trash. Oh boy. The realism enters. There was some containers and an improvised house made of pieces of wood and steel. Then suddenly, a guy from one of the containers shoot to one of the houses with an AK-47 and a war starts. People from the houses start shooting the people from the container. I reach a boat and I escape to the ocean. A moment later, I reached a very strange city with very old buildings and destroyed houses. But there were also large and modern buildings that were perfectly maintained. 2 of them was very strange. One was a perfect blue rectangle that looked made of plastic, and another, I don't know how to explain it, so I drew it on paint. First, I entered the blue rectangle, and it was literally a stupidly big empty blue piece of Lego. There was an elevator and a reception with a guy sitting on his chair looking at his phone. When I entered the other strange building, it was a normal hospital. For some reason, that hospital gave me a panic attack, and I ran as fast as I could to the street. And I ended in the street with a house that was very similar to Freddy House from GTA San Andreas. When you do that mission of OG Loke, and that's all. And I tried to just add in some of my own, tried to edit this a little bit, because it is kind of written in a little bit of, he says sorry for my bad English, and I mean, most of it's good. I could read most of it, but there was some that kind of confused me a bit, but I was able to get through it. But my god, this stream was very funny, and yeah. Weird dreams. There you have it. So that is another dream entry. That'll probably be the last one for tonight, but yeah. I mean, there's not really more that I can say about that one. It's just kind of you know how dreams are, and I've said this many times in my past dream entries and stuff about how dreams can just be so random, and the most random things can happen. And it's like one thing will happen, one scenario will happen, then another thing, completely different scenario will happen, and you'll be in totally different places, and totally different characters will appear out of nowhere, and all sorts of crazy stuff will happen. And yeah, they're great. This is why I like dreams. They're just amazing, great, and I love them. So yeah, that was another dream entry. I hope you enjoyed that one, because I sure did. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you for reading, listening, or watching. Hello, dear viewer or viewers. Welcome back again to another Dream Entry ASMR. This one, okay, so this is a different night that I'm recording videos, and I'm just kind of trying to make backlogs of these before I upload another compilation of these. I might try and see if I can do a few more. Yeah, let's get right back into it. So this one was written by Technical Ad 1431 on Reddit. What I saw, I don't remember my dream very well, but I tried to cover all the details. The dream begins with zombie apocalypse coming. I drove to the camp in the village in Pakistan. I come by car and we arrive at a village camp surrounded by a few houses. The next day I asked my friend about the locks in the village, and he has been living here for a long time. And I have a flashback about the locks in the village. Then we chat and joke with the Marshall D. Teach from the One Piece. And the next day, our village is attacked by a zombie anime character. He was very fast and hard to see. He came from the roof. He was an anime teenager with purple eyes and a half-zombie, half-human face. He attacked the campers. I tried to trap him, but it didn't work. He chased me and my friend to the farm. We hid in the chicken house next to the farm. The zombie anime character tried to attack us, but Marshall D. Teach saved us. Marshall D. Teach and the zombie anime character climbed on the barns. This is where the battle begins. The zombie anime character attacked Marshall, but was unable to harm him at all due to Marshall's dark ability. This is where my dream turns dark, because Marshall's body is covered in darkness, and he starts emitting darkness from himself. Then the zombie anime character is trapped by the ring inside Marshall's darkness. A friend of mine tells me that Marshall developed his little ability to such an extent that he managed to trap people in rings. The dream ends with a scene where a zombie anime character is stunned and motionless. Yeah, it was a very in-depth dream. It was pretty cool. I remember back when I used to watch a lot of anime back in my high school days. I used to watch One Piece when it first came out, and I haven't kept up on it. Obviously, it's been years since I've seen it, and I don't really watch as much anime as I used to. But yeah, it's a really interesting dream, nonetheless. So yeah, if y'all have any comments down below, or any dreams that you have had, just let me know in the comments, or go to my Reddit link, or Reddit page, patches underscore dream underscore entries, and you can upload your own dream on there. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for listening. Hello, dear viewer or viewers. Welcome back again to another Dream Entry ASMR. This one I thought was interesting because it's a lucid dream, I guess. Worst lucid dream I've ever had. Written by Timmy underscore IDB or LDB. To be clear, I've had lucid dreams several times, but today it kind of declined me. So I was in a dream that was pretty dark and weird. Weird creatures, smoke, and narrow streets with pipes around me. Kind of like Zwan, I don't know how you pronounce it, in S2 Arcane. I realized I was dreaming when I saw a kind of dragon sliding down a sewer pipe. So I tried to control the dream, but I got like teleported into another dream. I was in an unknown backyard with a brown wooden fence, some bushes, and a small yellow house. I lost my place. Apologize if I'm yawning a lot. Must be one of them days. A guy came out of that said house and started fighting me. I thought I could use some powers since I was in a lucid dream. But he said, "Oh, this ain't no lucid dream, boy." He knocked me down and threw me into another dream. At this point, I got effing scared and tried to wake myself up. I've had some methods to exit dreams, but nothing worked today. I was in a dream in which I woke up from a dream. The fight in the backyard. A non-familiar room. A weird Balkan-style carpet hanging from the wall. I was so scared that I tried to grab my phone in real life to call my mom so she would come and wake me up. The phone is pin-locked, so that didn't work. I started running as fast and as far as I could. Corridor after corridor, filled with people I didn't know, and several doors leading to weirdly shaped and organized rooms. It came to a halt at a dead end. I didn't know what to do. There was a little window, not a normal European window, more like a food delivery window, like McDonald's has them. A weird guy, fat smeared across his apron. Oh shit. He gave me a pill that kind of crumbled into 4 pieces. I ate them in hope of waking up, and I did. I woke up with a little shock, my phone in my hand, sweat all over my body. I've slept for almost 2 hours, but it felt like several days. If you've read to this point, English is not my first language, so I want to apologize for several grammatical mistakes. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, and have a nice day. So I thought this was written pretty well, for, using English and stuff. This is written pretty well, so I was able to read it fairly easily. But this is a pretty cool dream. A lot of stuff in this one. And we got some video game references in there. The one that really got me though was the one towards the end, where you got this fat food delivery guy with. I don't know why it made me laugh. I guess it was just like the visual of being at a McDonald's, and there's just this random like food delivery guy that's got like food all over his apron. He's like, "What's up, bro?" Alright, well, that was a pretty good one. Yeah. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Or, if you liked it. Uh, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for listening. Hello, dear viewer or viewers. Welcome back to another Dream Entry ASMR. So, I recorded this one, but I realized the Reddit user wanted to add something extra in this, and I did kind of use another microphone and try to edit in, but it just didn't sound right. It sounded, the other mic isn't nearly as good as these, and I wasn't hooked up to my linear recorder. So I wanted to just start from scratch for this one, because it is a good story, or dream entry. This one was written by Physical Rice 730. I died last night. There I was, an American, on a street typical of what you would imagine in a World War II ravaged city. I see a group, 4 or 5 gunmen soldiers, near a truck. My intent, as I approached, was to take them out. A few moments passed that I don't recall, but the next thing I remember, I am next to their truck. For some reason, they were all in the cab of the truck firing towards something in front of them. I had a submachine gun and planned to open the door and engage them all. When I opened the driver's door, I fired 1 round, which did not hit anyone, and the gun stopped firing. The soldier in the driver's seat turned to me and pointed his gun, so I threw my hands up. For some reason, I knew the war was going to be over within 2 weeks, so I begged him not to shoot me. I had flashing visions of my family and offered to be a willing prisoner to serve all of them however they needed by getting them food, water, or cigarettes. I begged for my life. As he pointed his gun at my head, I saw the irony of the situation, that only a moment before I was going to kill them. He pulled the trigger, and I felt no pain as I fell to the ground. He wanted to add something here, too. When I had my first firefight in Iraq, the same sort of thing happened. Seems like yesterday, and is a vivid memory from 17 years ago. The enemy surrounded us in the city, and there was no clear target. As I popped up in the turret, I thought of my 7-year-old daughter, and thought, alright, watch the windows and alleys. And it was game time. The world went silent as I fell, but I retained full visual clarity. My last vision was that of the litter-covered ground and the rear tire of the truck before everything went peacefully black, and I woke up. I've never died in a dream before. So this was an interesting one because it's a dream about death. I mean, yes, there's a theme here about World War II and everything, and everybody's at war. But the bottom line is the dream is about death. Um, and the interesting thing is, I've had dreams like this before, but dreams were actually, died in the dream. But they're not like, they didn't happen very often. These dreams are kind of rare for me. Usually in most dreams, when I would get close to death or something, or fall and like get close to like hitting the ground, I'd wake up beforehand. And like most people, when they dream of situations like this, they wake up before the actual death can occur. But I've had dreams before where I actually did die. There's one I had of a flashback. Every once in a while I have these dreams where, and I may have said this in a recent, or a past like dream entry that I had. I had a dream, a few dreams of like flashbacks of the accident. I'm not going to go into detail about it, but because there's like a whole video about this. But I was involved in a workplace accident a few years ago. And the weird thing about it is that I remember reading up on instances of people that have been through these near-death experiences, or when they go through a traumatic event and they sustain life-threatening injuries, and they don't feel any pain. And that always shocked me, because I was like, how can somebody go through so much pain and torture and yet not feel any pain whatsoever? And then I went through my own traumatic situation in my life, and I realized, yes, they were right. I felt no pain. And I think part of that, in a scientific way to explain this, is I think part of that reason was because I had so much adrenaline flooding my body at the time that my body was fighting to stay alive. And despite all the blood loss, I was still coherent enough to amazingly talk to people, let alone survive the ordeal that I was going through at the time. I don't know where I was going with this. I think I was trying to allude to the idea of death and dreams, like death dreams. This just made me think of this for some reason. But that's the thing, though, is I think dreams, when people try to dream of something like death, it's not an easy thing to imagine. In fact, death is something that's incomprehensible to us as human beings. It's outside the realm of normal reality. Because death is like a state of non-existence to us. Or at least most think so. I think the fascinating thing about it is that nobody really knows what happens when a person passes. nobody really knows where that person goes or what happens after their spirit or their personality ceases. It's like a great mystery. It's like a great mystery that I don't think is going to be solved anytime soon, if ever. And I think dreams about death is our body's way, or our mind's way of trying to imagine what would happen upon death. Like in this guy's dream, when he was shot in the head, he felt no pain whatsoever, and then died shortly afterwards. And another interesting thing, the flashback, he had like a memory or something that happened in his actual life, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, he'd mentioned he served, and so I definitely thank him for his service, him or her for his service. But yeah, not really much more I can add to this one. I could talk all night about this subject of death. It's just a fascinating thing to me. I just don't want to take up too much time in this video. I mean, it's gone on long enough anyways. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this one. Give it a like if you like to support me on my channel. Go to patches_dreams_entries and post your dream, or you can even leave a comment on my channel of a dream you've had recently. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Hello, dear viewer or viewers. So this one was also another fascinating one. I wanted to get into a lot of detail, it looks like, in this one. Fairly long. This one was written by Anoni Dream Girl. I fought in war against Russia, and they had Federation war visors that looked like iBots. Super vivid dream with so many thoughts. I can't really remember how I got there, but it was some long journey to find the correct way to get to the war zone. I was behind enemy lines. I was kitted out in USA military uniform, a cool gun, etc. Everything about it reminded me of the old PS3 game MAG, Scout class specifically. I'm like ducking behind a car. I'm looking for something, and then I look behind me, and there's an enemy Russian soldier with like normal Russian military uniform. But she has what looks like an iBot from the Fallout series on her head. The only difference is the front graded thing is a screen that's transparent, but also displays info about environment. I remember reading cloak and green text on the bottom left of the screen looking at her. I remember having all of these thoughts about it. Not scared or in a hurry. It was a weird state of mind. I had this intuitive understanding, like an explanation in my head. Federation war visors, not Russian Federation, like different timeline Federation, were impossible technology, but looked possible enough so that they could exist, and that was incorrect. They had many modes and features that would not work in this timeline, but a few things would work, so I needed to destroy it due to it being impossible. I shot at her with my silenced assault rifle until the clip was empty, but it was like my bullets would approach and then somehow go to the other side of her. Impossible to be hit by normal bullets. I go for a tiny pistol as my backup weapon and I draw it and look at it. It has ping gun resist with a black fist painted on it like a stamp. The ping gun, I remember thinking, is pretty much useless in this timeline. It works without bullets, but rather slowly destroys itself with each firing and shoots what is practically fine gauge needles. However, as I pull it up and point it at the war visor, it's like the visor becomes changed. The screen on its functions as a zoom for physics itself somehow now. So these tiny needles will turn into bigger bullets as it hits the screen, making it actually capable of lethal force. I shoot at her several times, miss a few shots, hit a few. I have to hit her like 6 times before she dies, all in the head. I remember her saying as I'm shooting her, "Why would you do this? I'm supposed to be undetectable." When she falls over, I put my gun down and look at my right hand. It has this wild animated tattoo of a yellow lightning bolt traveling constantly from the back of my fingers to my wrist. And there is black text superimposed on it saying, "Certified." That stays still. I think it's so effed up that it's come to this. I then go to the body of the person because the visor needs to be destroyed. I hold it in my hand, but it's like it has no weight. It'll kinda just stay wherever I put it, floating there. It has a weird dial on the right hand side of it, and I flip through it as a menu. I see the option template, and I push it. And then the war visor changes from a pale dark green color into this super shiny, think like an eyebot made of mercury, metal color. I go through the options again and find overshine. I think, damn, I've got no idea what this will do in this timeline, but it'll definitely destroy it. I push that option and then place the helmet down on the ground barely under a car so that if it floats up it'll hit the car. I start hearing beeping that has like high-pitched words with a whirl effect in its syllable rhythm to the beeping Federation. You are treason. You are lightning. Now we all know your position and your timeline. And then brackets my name. I then hear the words stop and the beeping speed up. I'm walking away because I think it might create a black hole or something. But then it creates a very small nuclear blast looking mushroom cloud, destroying the car absolutely and flinging some bodies against a wall nearby covered in black soot and ash. I say out loud, "Holy shit." So how it collapses. But that's how it collapses. Well, I guess now we all know. Then I wake up. So I loved that dream because it's just very in-depth very like a lot of detail, and they even like made a picture here of one of the bots, the iBots and stuff, which a very good drawing of it actually. I always think I try to draw things for my dreams sometimes, but it's always hard to like get the details down because obviously in a dream, things are constantly moving and shifting, and like uh, sometimes I can make out the outlines of certain objects and stuff when I try to draw them, but it's like when I try to draw the details, it's like uh, it's not exactly accurate for like the what's the word I'm looking for, whatever surface or whatever whatever it's like made of or something like that, or material or something. It's like I can't grasp. Uh, it's like I can't grasp exactly what it is, and sometimes these things will be nearly impossible to draw. Sometimes there's certain things in my dreams that are just it's. So there's this one I had, and I even talked about it, uh, and one of my past dream entries. It was one that I had a while back ago, and I had even drew a picture in my dream diary, but it was a rough sketch, and it's obviously nothing like the actual vision in the dream. Um, it was like this mutating, uh, almost like ball of like living tissue and like organs, and but it also had like it was enmeshed with like robotics and stuff like this, uh, and circuitry, and it was like just nearly impossible. Like it's almost like morphing in a way, and that's the thing about dreams. It's like sometimes your imagination will just conjure up the wildest things, um, and even trying to draw it when you wake up, it's like we forget a lot of like the details in our dreams, and sometimes, most of the time, we forget most of the dream in the first minute of waking up. So it's like it's nearly impossible to write down like detailed stuff about the dreams and stuff like that, unless it's like a very lucid dream like this one in this case. But some people just have the gift of dream memory recall, and like I've written down some details about my dreams, and like I feel like I have pretty good dream memory recall, but some people have like really good dream memory recall and can actually like get even better details about their dreams and stuff like this one here. And just like reading back, like just the whole like describing the dream setting itself about like a PS3 game, about a war game and stuff. I feel like maybe that's part of like the inspiration behind the dream itself, uh, and just like the technology uh, that the enemy was using and stuff. Just all the details and stuff about that, and even like describing like the eyebot and like the visor and stuff, and about how like all the like the text and stuff that came up, and it's just like yeah, it's just really really good recall, I'll say. Um, but yeah, the peen gun was really interesting, I thought too, because that right there, I've never heard of that, and maybe that's a reference to something, but I don't know. Like sometimes in our dreams we will make up things. Uh, that will be like nearly impossible. It's not going to be possible in real life. Like there's just no way that certain things in our dreams are going to work in real life. And the peen gun I thought was just fascinating because it was like a gun. It degrades as you shoot, but the bullets are like little itty bitty tiny needles, but they grow once they hit the target. And I thought that was fascinating because that right there is like an ingenious like way to get through like armor and stuff. And like she dreamed up like a weapon that could defeat her enemy. And that's also, see, that's a thing that I talk about in my dreams and stuff. It's like sometimes I'll dream up stuff where, I'll dream up this impossible, like seemingly impossible weapon or device that will help me solve a puzzle or defeat an enemy. And it's like, it's like, yeah, in our rational minds, when we wake up and we're like, how in the hell could something like that possibly ever exist? But then we think about it, and it's like yes, it could exist, but also it's like the, it's like mind bending, you know. Um, but yeah, even her going through the interface was really cool. Like just the details of like going through the menu when she defeated her enemy and was looking through the visor and stuff, and then like it exploding and stuff, and like giving all these crazy messages. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. See, these are the coolest ones. It's like the very like detailed, like long, the very long detailed dreams. Another favorite of mine that I had written a while back ago from another user on Reddit was about these train station, like these high tech train station like cities. And if you want to go back, like it's just entitled train station cities on my channel. Like you just look back and you can even go into the dream entries playlist and find it there, because I have a playlist for all of these set up on my YouTube channel. But that one's very in-depth like this one. It's almost based around war too, like a wartime setting. And it's got a lot of like detail in it and stuff, and it's very fascinating the way they just describe like the train station cities as being like massive like centers, and like these trains are like massive themselves that come through, and they're like almost moving cities. And like the whole war, that it's like a 4-part like saga. But like I boil it all down into like one video, and then give my interpretation after. But no, I love these kind of like very detailed dreams, long and detailed dreams. Like I try to find these, but these are not easy to come by on Reddit. Like I said, dream memory recall, especially good dream memory recall, is difficult for anybody. And like anybody can get better at dream memory recall. You just have to write down your dreams. And the fascinating thing about my dreams and stuff is that as I started writing down my dreams in my diary, I started to have more detailed dreams. And that's the thing. It's almost like working out. It's almost like working out a muscle in your brain. It's not a muscle, but it's almost like you start to develop a better sense of lucid dreaming in itself. It's almost like you develop almost like a narrative as you enter the dream state. You almost develop this ability to spot details in a dream. As you start to write dreams down, you'll start to spot details, and I'm getting better at it as I've been writing my dreams down. Like I'm getting better at spotting details. And that's the thing about dreams. It's like they're just very, most of the time they're just very like unpredictable, and like I said, sometimes you'll be driving a car, for example, and the car will change from a 1970s model car to like a newer model pickup truck. And you're flying through a city escaping police, and it's like all this chaos happens, and then you're jumping from one scene to another, and it's like you end up in like a totally different scene. You're not even driving a car anymore, and you're just swimming under the water. See, that's how crazy dreams can get sometimes. But that's why I love dreams. Um, I love hearing about dreams. I love reading people's entries on Reddit about dreams. I love like interpreting dreams. I love writing my own dreams down. I love like interpreting my own dreams and like trying to figure out why I was dreaming what I was dreaming, trying to dig up details and stuff about whatever dream I was dreaming at the time. But yeah, this is a 18-minute video. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and end it here. Um, Try to wrap up my long rant about dreams. But yeah, this will probably be the last one I do for a bit. Because I'll go ahead and make a compilation after this, and then might go back to doing regular ASMR videos. But I'll definitely do more of these. Like, these are fascinating, and I will definitely get back to these. It's just, like I said, my life gets busy sometimes, and I have a job, a full-time job, plus I have, like, you know, things in my life that come up sometimes. And like I said, it's the holidays, so things get busy around this time of year anyways. Um, but yeah, I'll definitely make more of these when I get the chance. I'm not saying they're not gonna happen anymore. I'm just saying that it's gonna take some time. Like I said, things take time. Um, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one, because I definitely did. It was a fascinating dream entry. Um, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. You have a good day, and thank you for listening.